Now speaking of SA, let's get into the Didla. Because apparently another day, another damn Diddy documentary. So how many is that so far? Because we had the one that just came out from Peacock. I already gave you all my full review of that. I just thought that it was rushed. Um, and I felt like overall there was not enough that I had heard that, I mean, there was not enough that was in that documentary that I saw that I hadn't already heard, especially the stuff about Biggie and Tupac and the bands and all the other stuff. I would love to have heard from some of the members of Danny Kaye, but I already know, like, I believe the new one that's supposed to be coming out on speaking of HBO, we just did a story on them about getting a lawsuit from Chris Brown. Uh, D Woods is supposed to be doing an interview with them on that docuseries that I believe comes out next week. So we had the one that was on Hulu. There was one on, the Hulu did one, Peacock did one, HBO Max about to come out with one, and we're still waiting on the one from 50 Cent over at Netflix, and I think this one makes 5. So I'm like, okay. Everybody's trying to jump on the bandwagon. And I don't know if I want to sit and try to just watch every damn Diddy situation. Even I think they did one over on Tubi with TMZ, I think did one. So according to the Daily Mail, I think the Brits are about to do one too. So they said the music mogul is currently, as y'all know, behind bars at the Metro Detention Center in New York, awaiting trial. And Channel 4 is said to have joined forces with Lion TV to commission a new in-depth show called Diddy in Plain Sight, exploring the alleged crimes. Now, a source told The Sun, as the clock ticks towards Diddy's trial, it gives us an opportunity for those yet to have their voices heard in this case to speak up and give their testimony. This in-depth program will dive into all the charges, the highs and lows of Diddy's success, and what went on behind the scenes at his infamous white parties. It will no doubt produce a very shocking revelations. Now, the new program is expected to air later this year. So, and Radar Online have contacted Channel 4, but I don't think they've heard anything. Now, they said the news follows an announcement by Netflix that they too are making a documentary about the shamed hitmaker called Diddy Do It. As a DIDDY, do it, question mark. Now, while other shows about the rapper include HBO's The Fall of Diddy, Peacock's The Making of a Bad Boy, and TMZ's, see, I told you it was a bunch of them, TMZ's The Downfall of Diddy. Diddy has remained incarcerated, awaiting a May 5th trial after bail was rejected following bail hearings before 3 different judges. Diddy was arrested in September 16th and indicted in racketeering and trafficking charges, blah, blah, blah. We already know all the charges. But, so I wonder, they're going to talk about the baby oil, they're going to talk about Cassie, like all the things we already heard already. And then even Daily Mail has a podcast called The Trial of Diddy, where a former federal prosecutor, David Gelman, said the rapper's legal team could use the tapes to undermine Cassie's credibility or possibly get a better plea deal for himself. Saying, let's just say that Cassie participating in things and looks like she's having a really good time, that obviously won't look good for her and her claims of what he did. Well, they could also, if they're smart, use the angle of, well, you are in a position of power. You are someone who has a lot of money and a lot of influence. And with her being in a relationship and you having the reputation that a lot of people have known you to have when you've been a bulldozer and a bully, and you can make people easily disappear, especially with you being a man of a certain age, getting with a girl who was relatively young, that could be the angle that they use against him. So y'all sort of, oh, it looks like she's having a great time. Have you never seen people who have been trafficked, who are under the influence of drugs, who are out of it, or who disappear within themselves while men break them in? And that's what they usually do with prostitutes, where it's like you have men run a train on a girl to break her mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and until she's broken in, and then you start working her around the track where you start making them pimps that money. And Diddy, with his mentality of being a freak and the abuse that he endured, because we already heard from that previous documentary I saw where him and his childhood friend, they was living up in this house that his mother, Janice, bought, and she was having freak off parties at the house on the weekends, and how he was introduced to sex at a young age, where I don't think he even learned about boundaries, or this is certain things you don't do when you're in a situation like that when it comes to people having relations and you're too young to understand what all that is. So them trying to do the angle of, oh, well, the freak on it looked like she having a good time. Have y'all not seen the episode of Law and Order SVU? Like, we've seen this show before on how they try to use that angle. And how does that turn out? Usually the person that tries to pull that angle ends up going to prison. So Diddy ain't getting out. I truly believe his ass ain't getting out. He is done. The way that he treated people for 3 decades in the music business and all the shenanigans that he was doing and how he's ruined a lot of people's lives. And thought that because he don't let, his 3, money, power, and respect, he even did a song on it. What that got him? In jail. Because he was bullied as a kid. And once he got money and power, he had to bully people for the respect. So, I'm guessing because it's Channel 4, that means it's going to be over in the UK. I'm still waiting for them to give us the Madonna thing that's over there over in the UK. They still haven't released that. I would love to see that documentary, but I heard is actually really good, where it goes into early aspect of her career, but we haven't gotten that. So I don't even know if we actually get to see this Diddy thing over here. But then again, I feel like we've been so bombarded with a lot of, well, I guess maybe because I'm paying attention to a lot of it. There's been so much of that Diddy stuff that's in the zeitgeist right now. All these documentaries and these series that everybody trying to capitalize. It's like, I don't want to have to sit and watch every one and then be like, okay, did I learn something from this one? Did I learn something from that one? So I don't know even if they dropped it over here in the US or bootlegged it on YouTube, I don't even know if I want to watch it at this point, because I just feel like I'm bombarded with all this stuff. And he's still in jail. He hasn't even gone to trial yet. And it's basically become like more or less the court of public opinion versus the court actually charging him with anything. So I saw this and say, what do y'all think of this story regarding now Channel 4 over in the UK is set to come out with a documentary probing, taking a deep dive in Diddy's infamous white parties and the freak offs and all that other stuff. So whatever your thoughts are on that, let me know in the comments down below.